And it was just this idea of this brilliant footballer who's very famous, but also this really complex and diverse character people kind of hate or love. And I always think there's kind of had all the ingredients for a good movie, I guess.
After 2 award-winning films, Senna and Amy, director Asif Kapadia has created a new documentary focusing on footballing legend Diego Maradona. This film takes a look into a section of Maradona's career in 1984 when he first arrived in Naples for a world record fee of 6.8 million.
One of the reasons to do it was the fact that it wasn't a story about someone who died young. Tragically, Senna and Amy died really young at the kind of peak of their powers. And the idea is, well, I don't want to do that again. And what happens if you get old? What if you're a sports person and you get old and you lose your gift and you lose your talent? And what if you're someone who's got, loves chaos and needs drama, needs love and needs attention? And the minute you get it, you make a fight and get rid of everyone and fire everyone. So that idea of what happens after and growing up and having kids and families and divorces and the messiness of life is why this was interesting, but also why it was challenging.
This documentary relies heavily on the use of archive footage, music, and voiceovers from Maradona himself, Diego's family and friends, and even Pelé. All this is used to emotionally engage the audience as it adds depth to Maradona and his life. I personally feel this documentary changes your insight into the subject. Maradona was a strong character and huge idol to many, but was also very much hated. This documentary constructs never before seen archive footage which exposes the truth to Maradona's life, especially his mental health, which seems to worsen throughout the film due to the suffocating and overwhelming reality which was Napoli. Therefore, we could argue Kapadia is trying to make his audience connect with Maradona and sympathise towards him rather than judge him for the mistakes he made during his career. Kapadia was successful in positioning key events within a wider cultural context. A key example would be the infamous Hand of God victory Argentina had over England, which acts as a payback for the Falklands War. Furthermore, he unpicks the cultural significance of the 1990s World Cup semi-final when Maradona played for Argentina against Italy in the Napoli San Paolo Stadium. Kapadia constructs this particular match to focus upon a pivotal penalty kick, which is a key turning point in Maradona's career, as after supporters began to grow hatred towards the player, thus affecting Maradona's mental state. Looking at this film from a critical standpoint, although we focus and follow Maradona's primary career from 1984 to 1991, Kapadia also constructs oppositions throughout the film which continue to shape Maradona during his time in Napoli. Examples which perfectly sets out Kapadia's stall is a tale of rags and riches, crime and football, injury and victory. These are all played out against the backdrop of the city that comes to embody his divided spirit. Kapadia also constantly refers back to Maradona's home life in Argentina, how his family were in extreme poverty. I feel this juxtaposition is effective as the film focuses on both his extravagant lifestyle, but also the hard knocks reality of his background.
One of the things I ended up doing when I was interviewing all of the key contributors, I'd end up saying to them, where do you think the film ends? Because they'll be like, good luck. We've written books about him, and the minute we sent it to the publisher, he'll do something tomorrow that means the book's irrelevant. And I think that was a challenge, was to somehow have an ending, but which also is slightly more kind of open to interpretation for the audience to take from it what they want.
This movie was praised throughout many newspaper articles and websites. However, it did receive some criticism. For example, Owen Gleiberman from Variety Media believes Diego Maradona wants to be a kind of high-flying, reach-for-the-stars tragedy like Emil Senna, but it leaves out too much. No matter how many newsreels it shows us or how arresting they are, all that grainy reality can't add up to revealing what's inside the man at its centre. Overall, I found this film both intriguing and at times emotional. Seeing a beloved sporting icon turn from god to devil in an instant makes me understand the toxic and twisted lives celebrities must endure due to the pressures. Like his award-winning Amy, which was another very emotional film, Kapadia again follows the same system and through the editing and soundtrack creates a sympathetic tale.